How you doing, Jake?
Alright, here we go. Alright. 107.5 Kiss FM. What's going on? It's Josh Martinez. I'm here with the homie Jake Miller. You are about to hit the stage.
Yes.
We are at Valor Ballroom. Well, it took a while for you to get here because something happened. You weren't even in the right state.
No, we weren't. We kind of, every morning the bus driver gets on the bus around 6 o'clock. We start driving, and we really wake up in the morning when we get to the next venue in the next city because we hear all the screaming fans outside. And today it was like 3:30. I woke up and I still hadn't heard anything. We were still driving, so I'm like, why are we still driving? Walked up to the front, and the bus driver said that he plugged in the wrong address. So we went to Omaha, Nebraska.
And that's a ways away. That's a couple hours. It's not.
I can't even tell you right now where on the map we are compared to Nebraska or my home. Everything is just a blur to me right now.
It was the same way. Like, I'm from New York City, so when I moved out here for this job, I didn't even know where Iowa was on the map. I thought it was like in the Gulf. I thought it was like one of those southeast type states.
I mean, I know it's right in the middle, around the middle, right?
Yeah, it is. No, it is the middle. So yeah, I mean, you knew more than I did because I didn't even know that. You just celebrated your 21st birthday.
Yes.
Which is
2 or 3 days ago.
Which is a huge milestone.
Yes, I'm excited.
So now, the most important question that everybody wants to know is like, how did you celebrate the birthday?
I went home. I strategically planned it when we planned this tour back like 6 months ago to have the break back at home. Thankfully, all my friends were home from college, so I had all my friends and all my family over my house, and it was just a really, really fun time.
Was it Thursday, or did you celebrate it like Wednesday night, or?
It was the night before Thanksgiving, so like when it turned midnight, that was my birthday.
Which is the smartest thing to do, only because, as we all know, Thanksgiving Eve is the biggest party night of the year.
Yes.
So that definitely came in clutch for you, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Also, early birthday gift. You signed to Warner Brother Records.
Yes, that's a huge birthday gift.
Dude, that's what everyone wants. I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure it's been in the works. I'm sure you've had opportunities with other labels. I'm sure there was a bit of a bidding war. I would assume, at least, because you made a name for yourself kind of on the indie scene with E1 and going from there, which is hard to do nowadays, especially with pop.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that, I think you should get more credit.
Thank you.
For coming out with Collide, especially when you have all these established artists coming back to the pop game, and you're still there. You're still busting your ass. You're trying to break that top 40. You're selling the records. YouTube's a huge way to get your name up, and that's a huge way.
Absolutely.
A huge reason why you are famous. Us Against Them album dropped. What's the feeling like when you dropped that album?
I think the coolest part of dropping this album was that it was the first time any of my music has been physical in stores. So every time I stop by a Target or Walmart or Best Buy or FYE, I always pick up a copy just because I don't think that feeling will ever get old. It's just so crazy to actually see my face in a random Target in Minneapolis, Minnesota, which it's just really cool to me. So I think that's the coolest part of the whole dropping the album. Obviously, I'm really proud of the album. First album, 12 songs. I think there's something on it for everybody. I got some happy songs, some Windows Down, play loud songs like Hollywood, High Life, Collide, and then I have some songs that mean a little bit more to me, like A Million Lives and Puppet. And so I think there's something for everybody on it.
I want to read this quote directly because I like to quote people. This is from StarPulse.com.
Okay.
And I respect their site and how they kind of look at albums and critique it. And this is exactly what was said. Overall, Jake Miller assembles an enjoyable rap album in which he is true to himself and specifically the artist he wishes to be. When you hear stuff like that and you hear like the critical acclaims for your album, what goes through your mind?
Well, to be honest, I don't read too many of those, but that hits it spot on. I mean, I'm in this position right now where I'm like, I've never been happier. I've never been in a better place. I feel like me and my team, I'm traveling the world for a living with my best friends, doing what we love.
We're all jealous. We're all jealous.
I mean, I'm very lucky to be in this situation. It takes a lot of hard work and a little bit of luck and just a lot of great people supporting you. So that's kind of how the album, that's the general feeling that the album reflects. Just me, just really feeling good right now and feeling great about what we're doing. So the
Us Against Them tour, I mean, you've sold out Best Buy Theater in New York City, which is a big deal. Like I said, I'm from New York, so I know how big of a deal that is.
That was a good show.
Pretty big deal. Fillmore's, House of Blues, all across the country. You've done that all. When you look up and you go to the site or someone tells you, hey, you sold out New York City, you sold out Chicago, you sold out St. Louis, you're selling out these major cities, what's that feeling like?
It's amazing. I remember, this is my second tour. I remember the first tour that we ever had. Before I even started it, my booking agent called me and said, we're booking a tour for you. And my first question was, who am I going to open for? Because I had no idea that I could really, at that point, go out of my hometown and bring anybody out, even bring 10 people out. And so when we started that first tour, and I would hit cities like Minneapolis or Seattle or places that I've never been before and bring out hundreds of people, it was just an incredible feeling. And now on the second tour, the amount of the crowd has just grown immensely since then. So I can't wait to see what the next tour is gonna be like.
And like I actually saw an interview with you, and you said that your first performance ever wasn't at like a half-empty bar.
Nope.
It wasn't at some rinky-dink like ice skating rink in the middle of Denton, Florida, or anything like that. Who did you open up for?
I opened for Snoop Dogg.
And how many people were there?
Like 5,000 people.
God damn! How did you pull that off for your first show?
Yeah, I remember my manager, the first manager I ever had. He contacted me. He said, "I want to be your manager." And I remember I sat down with him and my family, and I said, because I wasn't ever the type of person to really like the spotlight, want to be out there, putting myself out there. I was a quiet kid, so I said the one thing I said when I sat down with my manager and my family is, I'm cool to do this. I'll make music. I want to get famous, but I never ever want to perform live ever. It was not something
that possible?
I didn't really know anything about the industry. I didn't know how to make it. I just thought if you put out a good song, you'll go to the radio, you'll be famous, and that's it. So I didn't really want to perform because that's not who I was. I wasn't really like a good entertainer. I was kind of shy and quiet. But then I was presented with the opportunity to open for Snoop Dogg locally. Obviously, I'm not going to turn that down. And that was the night that I fell in love with performing. So
now you open up for Snoop. There's like 5,000 people there. The nerves, obviously, I'm sure, were running through your body. Was that the night that you realized, okay, I'm no longer nervous? Literally, that one performance,
yeah.
Did that change your life so you were no longer nervous, you no longer wanted to be the shy kid? Or was it kind of like a couple more shows you kind of got that feeling?
Yeah, it was kind of a couple more shows. It wasn't like that was the show that just... But, I mean, it got some of the nerves out. If I could do my first show for 5,000 people for Snoop Dogg, then I could do other shows. So I mean, I had like some of my best friends on stage behind me, just kind of like awkwardly background dancing, just to make me feel more comfortable.
Okay.
And yeah, it was a great night. I loved it.
Now, you're very public about your relationship.
Yeah.
Madison is her name, as we all know. A lot of the military know.
Yes.
How has the relationship changed? Because I know she's been there since day one, right? If at all.
It hasn't really changed. I'll be real with you. She has seen the whole thing grow. She's been with me since I even started, before I even put out my first song. So she's seen the whole thing grow. She thinks it's just as interesting as I think it is. She loves to see it. The fans love her. There's no death threats, so we're happy. And we see each other a lot. I fly her out on tour. Everything's good.
You know, I will say, I did like... hashtag military and kind of see, and the amount of love that Madison gets.
She's got like 60,000 followers.
The amount of love she gets compared to other pop stars and their significant others, or even rumored significant others, with the death threats and stuff like that. I mean, even something as small, I mean, like, I'll give you an example. This year's VMAs, there was a shot of Ellie Goulding and Ed Sheeran, like literally holding hands sitting next to each other. And the death threats to Ellie Goulding were through the roof. But the military is kind of like, yo, he's with her and he loves her, like, we support it. That's rare to find.
Right, because I think they found me while I was already dating her, and they've seen how happy she makes me, how happy I am as a person. So I'm just real with my fans. I don't want to lie to them. They see whatever makes me happy. They support that. And if you don't support that, then I don't see how you can be a true fan. I mean, that's what makes me happy, and I want whatever makes them happy for them, whatever it be. So, yeah.
So how do you stay in contact with her? I mean, obviously, I'm sure you're busy throughout the road and stuff like that. I mean, but is it as simple as text messaging and Skyping at night and stuff like that? Or?
Yeah, just texting and calling.
See, it's so simple.
Low maintenance. It's not that,
so easy. Why couldn't my ex-girlfriend realize that? I mean, she was in New York. I was in Des Moines.
It's not that easy, to be honest. There's definitely some times where it's hard, where some crying on the phone, come home, blah, 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 but we get through it.
As long as there's a means to an end, I'm sure she's happy, and I'm sure you are too. So this is a very important question for me personally. I'm being selfish. How did you get to deal with Young and Reckless?
That was funny.
I'm jealous. I ain't gonna front. I'll be honest. I see the logo on you. I see it on the bus.
Yeah.
I'm a little jealous. I ain't gonna front. And you're rocking the shirt. Damn it, man.
I actually, when I signed my first record deal like a year ago with E1, I was wearing a Young and Reckless like crew neck, just coincidentally.
Simple.
And I remember I tweeted it to Drama. I had like a video of me signing the deal and partying and celebrating with the label. And I tweeted the link to Drama, who owns Young and Reckless. And I said, look, I just signed a record deal. Check me out. I'm wearing your hoodie while I'm signing the record deal. That was probably the first time he heard of me. And yeah, he got in contact with me, started sending me clothes, and then the relationship is just built. And obviously you see the bus. They're huge supporters of me. And my whole team is decked out in Young and Reckless now.
I need to be a part of this team. But speaking about like the video diaries and stuff on YouTube, I see, you know, you did a lot of that on the first tour, especially. Who came up with that idea? Because I think personally, it just makes fans look at you away from the stage, away from Twitter, away from Instagram. You as a person, and you are a very likable guy.
Thank you.
And people could see that firsthand. Whose idea was it? You? Was it your team? Was it a little bit of both?
I don't remember whose idea was. I knew from the beginning that I wanted to document everything behind the stage, like backstage, in the hotel rooms, on stage, interacting with fans, just so that people who can't come to the shows, which are probably 99% of the people in the world, so they can experience it. But I mean, I have 3 guys who tour with me who are always videoing, and I never really thought that it would turn into what they did for me. Like, we basically have like a little reality TV show on YouTube.
And when you have 50, 60, 70, 100,000 views on these 4, 5, 6 minute documentaries, I mean, it says a lot about not only the military, but just people who may not even know about Jake Miller. I mean, the first time I heard about you was when the first single was being pushed to radio.
A Million Lives.
Yeah, and a guy from New York City named Anthony Iovino was like, hey, here's a link to his YouTube. Like, look at this stuff. And I'm looking for, like, I swear to God, for like 45 minutes. I'm just documenting, going through, and I'm like, yo, like...
It's because everyone can relate to it. I mean, we're just being normal kids on the bus, just... It's like when you watch these videos, we're just normal people. We're not doing anything crazy. Everyone can relate to it. And I think everyone, just whether you know me or like my music or not, the videos are just entertaining. It's just a bunch of kids being goofy and having fun.
And I mean, yeah, especially at that time, I'm sure you were 19, 20 years old, your first tour. Why the hell wouldn't you want to have fun?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, keep it real. You know, to gain inspiration for your albums and when you're writing songs, is it something that literally hits you? Where you're just sitting on the bus, or do you listen to music to gain inspiration?
No, I can't. I can have 6 hours to kill right now before a show, and I could say, okay, I'm gonna go write, and I might not be able to come up with anything. It's just whenever I'm feeling it, whenever I'm feeling emotional or passionate about some way or another, that's when I have to go write. But it's not like I can write whenever I want, to be honest.
Do you listen to other songs to gain inspiration, or do you hear other songs or even artists?
Yeah.
And say like, yo, I know I could be that. I know I could do that. I could do better than that.
Definitely. I don't like think in my head like, oh, I want to write a song about this and then go listen to music. I'll listen to a song and automatically I'll be like, wow, this is a really good song. That just inspired me and motivated me. I'm going to go in my room and write something cool.
Who are your biggest inspirations? Right now, not growing up, like right now, who do you listen to and you're like, wow, I need to, like, that's somebody that's on my radar?
I think Drake and J. Cole are great lyricists. I think Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, what they're doing, like...
Independently,
but more important, like, message-wise, with same love and stuff like that. That's because that's what I'm all about. I'm all about spreading positivity. And just, it's more important. These days, it's you can't just come out with catchy music and good hooks and good beats. You have to take a step further and actually try to help people and get them through tough situations. And that's what it's really opened my eyes, because ever since I put out A Million Lives, you should see the amount of fan mail I get, the amount of people who come up to me on meet and greets, pulling me aside, crying, showing me their wrist, showing me how my music has helped them stop cutting themselves. And so that's really what it's about. I mean, it sounds a little corny and cliche that I'm saying it, but besides the record sales and the awards, like, it's a lot more important that I could touch people's lives like that.
When Anthony Iovino came to me and was like, oh, check out this dude, he's kind of like a hip-hop act or whatever, and then he sent me A Million Lives, I'm like, I thought you said he was kind of hip-hop, because it wasn't what I was expecting. Right. And then when Collide dropped, I was like, all right, this isn't what I'm expecting, but both songs were so good.
Thank you.
And it's not from, it's not the way you're built to be. Like, people kind of put you out there as like a hip-hop act.
Yeah, I honestly, I wish that label, like a hip-hop artist, I wish we never went with that label to begin with. Just because I rap doesn't really put me in the category of hip-hop. If you look at the hip-hop charts and my albums there, it's just, it doesn't fit with who I am. But, I mean, I think my music is pop with a little bit of rapping incorporated into it. I wouldn't consider myself a hip-hop artist.
So, 3 favorite songs right now, what are they?
I like Too Much by Drake.
Okay.
I like Crooked
really
Smile by J. Cole. And I like Collide by Jake Miller. Gotta plug the single.
No, absolutely. Trust me, we'll be playing that, I promise
you.
And it's interesting because, what are you listening to Nothing Was the Same Now? Or is that one of the albums that you're constantly listening to?
Constantly, yeah. I mean, ever since it came out, it's been on repeat.
It took me a few listens.
It took me a few listens too, but I mean, there were some songs I didn't really like at the beginning, like Own It and Wu-Tang Forever, but now I like every single song, I think.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like you're waiting for the album to come out, and then Drake comes out. Listen, I'm a huge Drake fan, but at times he's soft like bake sales. I ain't gonna front.
Yeah, but I mean, that's cool too. I mean,
but it works.
It works. I'm not looking for all that hard hip hop stuff. Sometimes that soft stuff works.
So, a couple fan questions that came in through email, Instagram, Twitter. We'll get to that in just a few seconds. But to wrap up, I mean, we're obviously approaching the new year. Do you have a New Year's resolution set in mind, business-wise, not the you know you want to be a better
Personally.
person. Yeah,
Yeah.
just business wise, musically. What is your main New Year's resolution?
To be honest, we just started with Warner. I don't really have any expectations, any goals. I just want them to take what I've built and just blow it up on a much larger scale. I would love to maybe tour out of the country, maybe a little European tour. That would be cool. But besides that, I'm just trying to do my thing, keep doing what we're doing, but on a much bigger scale.
You started off indie-wise, and you signed to Warner Brothers, and Macklemore took the exact same route, indie, Macklemore. And it's funny because Anthony Iovino, again, he put me onto Macklemore about a year and a half ago, and then he put me onto Jake Miller. So I honestly hope that you do the exact same thing, if not bigger.
I just met Macklemore at a beach. He was getting a massage. He was completely by himself.
Hella awkward and weird.
Yeah, my dad was at the spa. He calls me and says, Macklemore's here. Come meet him right now. And so I told him all about me, all about my deal, and it was cool.
So you guys are label mates?
Kinda, yeah. I mean, I know he's not like...
It's a distribution deal, yeah.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, that's weird. I met him too. Super cool dude. Very humble too.
Yeah, he's awesome.
When you see him on stage and you see his whole...
energy.
Yeah, and then you meet him, it's almost like a 180 in a good way. It's not a bad
That's kind of
thing.
what it is with me. A lot of people tell me that. I'm like really chill here, but when I get on stage, I just flip a switch and I'm completely
You have to,
different.
though. You have to put on the show for all the military, which brings me to a lot of the fan questions. This came on Twitter and Instagram. Kristen Dawn, who came up with the military name? Creative yet simple.
Yeah, a fan did. I remember tweeting saying, like, guys, help me. Everybody has a fan base name. Justin Bieber's got the Beliebers, but we don't have one. I need help. And I remember we were between Miller Lights, which was a little bit not demographic.
By the way, I like the Miller High Life tour.
Oh,
I thought that was a
thank you.
dope ass
Yeah,
name. I'm just saying.
I appreciate that. But Miller Lights doesn't really work with the demographic. We had Miller Mob and we had Military. And I was just thinking of all the branding ideas that you can do with military, with camo, selling dog tags. We had the whole bus wrapped in camo. We called it the Tank for my first tour. So, I think the military is just a great name.
There's a lot of people outside in camo.
Everyone wears camo to the shows. Everybody.
Another question from a fan, Gabby Mahone. How do you keep yourself entertained on this bus?
Oh, I mean, I'm on this bus with 9 of my best friends, and we have Xbox, we got Wii. We got our phones, we got Twitter, but
what's the game of choice for everyone to kind of talk shit and go from there? And
game?
Yeah.
They play a lot of FIFA. I like to play Mario Kart. So keep it simple back there. Yeah, I mean, but really, besides video games, whenever we're free, we get off the bus, walk around the city, just sightsee, go to a restaurant, go to the hotel lobby, edit videos.
Which is a smart thing because not for nothing, it's not often you're going to come through, hypothetically, Des Moines. I mean,
Right.
I wouldn't ever come to Des Moines if not for the job.
I've never even heard of it before I came here.
Yeah, I mean, my friends ask me all the time. I've been here for a year. They're like, yo, how's Idaho? How's Ohio? And it's one of those things that you just like, dude, you're not even close.
Yeah, I mean, it's half of the cities that I come to on tour I have never heard of before the booking agent told me I'm going there. So just to come here, see what it's all about. I don't like to be cooped up in the bus. I want to go see what it's about.
So, Al's Bells, clever name. There's a lot of Madison questions here, but
yeah.
how old is Madison?
She is 19,
Okay.
almost 20.
All right, so there's a little bit of a gap. Kristen Dawn again, and she cap-locked this. I am dying to know this. Why does he have so many sad, breakup, heartbreak, whatever songs when him and Madison have been dating for 4 or 5 years now?
First of all, I don't have that many. I probably have 3.
Well, she looks
If
at it
that
as
much.
3 too many, probably.
I think there's actually one, and it's called Goodbye. Other ones are kind of sad songs, but more about being away from that person. But you gotta, even though I can't really relate to the breakup songs, I still gotta put them out there for people who can relate to them, so that, you know what I mean? So even though it's not really something I've experienced, it's still something that I know people want to hear about. So you gotta write breakup
And
songs.
I'm sure it's not that hard to kind of, especially when you're missing Madison, or even maybe your family, just
anybody
making it
missing
a
home.
general "I miss you" type of song. I'm sure. I mean,
I've had breakups before, so even though I haven't broken up with Madison, I still know what a breakup feels like.
So this is coming from Sheridan and Mackenzie. Favorite place to eat while you're on tour?
Chipotle.
See, you know,
They
I
make
got
fun of me because
beef.
when I'm in like cities, they want, like, my DJ always makes fun of me because I should like experience like the culture. When I'm in Pittsburgh, I should go to Promani Brothers or whatever, and like all these famous places. I just want Wendy's or Chipotle or Subway. That's all I need.
I'm a little upset because I'm a huge fan of Qdoba, which is just like
I've had
Chipotle.
that. I tried that last tour. I didn't really like it.
See, I don't like Chipotle. I just
Really?
like yeah.
How do you not like Chipotle?
I feel like it's bland compared to
Chipotle's
Qdoba.
my
See, I'm
favorite.
gonna run.
That means that what you get is bland.
I get steak at both places, and it's like, ooh, steak and queso. It's tasty in my mouth at Qdoba and very bland.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm gonna have to run over to Qdoba, evidently, and have to get you a burrito and be like, boom, taste it,
It was
enjoy
okay.
it.
I just didn't think it was Chipotle.
What's this is coming from Gabby Dental. What's the craziest thing a fan has done?
I always think the craziest things that fans do for me is come up to me with my lyrics tattooed on their bodies.
Damn it, man.
I just think that that's nothing's cooler than that. Like to think that they're gonna be grandparents one day and have Jake Miller lyrics tattooed on them. That's just insane to me.
And I would assume that she followed up at what's the best thing a fan has given you. Would that kind of be on the same line?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, all the stories that they tell me, sometimes they pull me aside after shows and they just go into detail about how I've helped them, and that's really all I really want. I get like stuffed animals and candy, but I think that meaningful stuff is it really gets to me.
This is from Carly Benson. Where was the good one? Because she sent like 10. I told him to send me one. This chick sent me like a whole list, which is cool.
Interview.
They love you. They love you. Are you ever going to get a tattoo? If so, what are you gonna get?
Probably not. I've been thinking about it. I like the sleeve look, like Adam Levine, but I'm like a big believer in don't get tattoos unless every single tattoo like is really meaningful to you.
Yes.
And I don't have anything that's meaningful.
As I stare at your boy with Polynesian on his sleeve.
No, we've had.
I've always wanted Polynesian though. Do they all mean like all the pieces mean something? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had this conversation a bunch of times.
See, I like the
My guy is Hawaiian, and he legitimately knows what it means.
See.
And I'm into the whole warrior art.
See, like, I'm a huge fan. I'm just an immature wrestling fan still. So like Samoa's and Samoan lifestyle, I think it's awesome. And The Rock's entire piece, I think, is probably the dopest tattoo ever.
Yeah. It would have to be someone like real meaningful, like if someone I knew died and like a tribute to them or something like that.
I only have 3, and my 3 all mean something. They're all family related, and I kind of want to keep it that way.
Whatever works for the person. I just don't know if I can rock them physically, so I'm just gonna stay away from them.
As long as you're not fat, you're gonna be fine. I see your Instagram flex and pose. I hate. I ain't gonna front. I get jealous. Makes me want to start going to the gym.
He's got me working out.
Look at that. See, and he got the tattoos. So if he's in shape and he has those tattoos, they're gonna look dope. Is there something on your bucket list? What's the biggest thing on your bucket list that you want to accomplish by the end of 2014?
By the end of 2014,
bucket list.
I would love to sell out Madison Square Garden.
Yes. I'm actually a huge. I'm obsessed with MSG. I actually have my backdrop on my phone is actually Madison Square Garden.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
but being from New York City,
I've been there once for like a hockey game, and obviously everyone knows the history of that venue, and I would just coming from my first tour, they stuffed me in janitor's closets as a green room and little bars. So to just go from like the littlest venues to the biggest possible one, I think that would just be like, okay, I've made it. Goodbye.
Honestly, dude, as a New Yorker, it just like gives me goosebumps when people like know about MSG and they know the history behind it and they know like that's what they want to sell out.
Yeah.
And that to me is awesome because you could sit there and say stadiums, and which I'm sure you do that too because the money behind stadiums, I found out. Yeah, Taylor Swift is a happy little white girl.
Yeah,
she's chilling.
Yeah, I can see that.
So with the rest of this year, with the rest of your tour, what are you trying to essentially get through? What message are you putting out there? What do you want to leave fans walking out of the venue, whether it's tonight here or tomorrow in Nebraska, which wasn't the show today, but you thought that, whatever. When you walk out of the venue, when they walk out of the venue rather, what do you want them to say?
I always say I want every fan to go home happy, whether it's a picture with me or me touching their hand in the crowd or talking to them. So after each show, I have a little meet and greet, 100 people, the 100 meet and greet tickets that were sold. And then there's always hundreds and hundreds of people who weren't able to get those, and I tell them to meet me by my bus. I try to meet every single person 99% of the time, unless they're huge shows or in weird areas. I can't do it, but I always try to. I mean, 99% of the time I do.
You do.
Yeah.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
She's actually doing that. She's gonna be meeting you again. She's a fan, like I said.
Awesome.
So she wanted to be assigned to this. I was like, I got you. I'll take care of you. So Jake Miller, one more time. Appreciate it, dog.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.